So here on the left hand side, you'll see that the actual glass is emitting more heat than the one on the right hand side. And the reason for that is one is standard and the other has better insulating glass. If we actually took your house, would we see this? The reason that you can see all of the beams simply is this isn't a new construction, but rather it's a house which has poor insulation. Now these are in the walls, that's why you can see the actual buildup of heat. But notice where the major heat, which we would this isn't light, this is heat radiating, and you can see that this is on the top of the heat scale. This is happening throughout the windows. You'll see the difference between this house right next to it, which actually has, almost that, but also you'll see that they have better insulation on theirs. Kind of makes you feel a little naked in your house, doesn't it? Wow. Now look at the comparison of this one. This is actually double insulated glass, and you'll see that the scale on this is much lower in the purple zone. Here you'll see that they didn't replace these, but you can see a huge difference on just looking at that in the infrared. Pretty big difference, isn't it? So don't let that be your situation, and the easiest way to check for that is to look on the exact numbers of the energy performance rating. Here you'll see a U factor of 0.48 and a solar heat gain coefficient of 0.54. Now in this case, high is not good. If the number is high, steer clear. What I mean by that is you'll find at a lot of different stores where you can find windows, the very standard window is about this high, and you will save money purchasing it up front. If you're a contractor that doesn't care about the house down the line and you're not going to pay the energy bills, this is what you go for. But if you're a homeowner that knows that you're going to stay there for quite a while and you want to not just save on the front end but save long term, this is not the way to go. In fact, this is the perfect situation. 0.17 on the U factor and 0.24 on the solar heat gain coefficient. This is actually the lowest I've ever seen, and this is simply because these particular windows have a triple layer, because this is back east where it gets very, very cold. In the Southern California area, you do not need it you don't need it this low. 0.29, 0.27 is the standard for the solar heat gain coefficient. Are your windows crying? If they are, that's because you already have double insulated windows, but the failure of the seal has caused the moisture to get inside the actual glass, and it is disturbing. It is not only unsightful, but it's just plain frustrating because you can't get in the middle of the glass unless you actually open it up. These are new windows and doors, as you can see in this picture, but sometimes the spacer is the reason for the failure, and the spacer is in between the actual door or the window, which keeps the glass together, or it was just a bad seal to begin with from the manufacturer. If you see a seal like that, this is an aluminum spacer, steer clear. This is the type of spacer that you'll see very common on new construction homes, because again, they are very inexpensive to manufacture. Stay away. If you notice in this particular chart, the most conductive material is aluminum. You'll see that the chart now goes all the way very low to vinyl and wood, which is right where we want to stay at. And this is the reason that we want to check for these type of materials if we're going to replace any windows. Yes, you will save a lot of money by going with aluminum windows, but this is why it's so cheap.